Chapter 15. Unknown Time. "Are you kidding me?" Mary shouted while beating on the driver's side window of Kevin's truck. Startled and confused, Kevin raised his head from where it rested on the steering wheel. "What?" he said with a dry throat. "Don't what me. You just drove off last night after saying you would be in just a minute. Where the hell did you go? I have been worried sick all night. Now unlock this door and get out here." Feeling much like he had been partying and drinking all night, Kevin rubbed his head with one hand and unlocked the door with his other. "I don't know. I don't remember going anywhere." Suddenly, Mary's demeanor changed as she went from upset wife to medical professional. After many strange issues occurring with his health over the last month, she now became concerned. Opening the truck door, Mary reached in, taking his hand to lead him inside, where she could examine him further. While helping him out, she noticed the crimson katana he had been working on, lying on the seat beside him. "Did you meet with a buyer last night or something?" she asked. "No, not that I'm aware. Maybe. I need some ibuprofen or something." Just then he realized the sun was just above the eastern horizon. "It's morning?" "Yes, you've been gone all night. I watched for you until falling asleep around 1 a.m. I noticed it getting light out, so I came out to look, and here you are." Letting go of his hand as they entered, Mary felt something wet running down her fingers. Blood, and a lot of it. "I'm going to take a Kevin collapsed before finishing. Hours passed at the hospital while they ran tests and stitched up the cut that seemed to never heal on his thumb. Looking at Kevin lying in the hospital bed, Mary became concerned that this time would be much like their last visit as she squeezed his hand. Only to her surprise, he squeezed her hand as well. Joy overwhelmed her as she jumped to her feet, still holding his hand. "Kevin, Kevin!" She spoke with a trembling voice, praying she had not imagined his squeeze. "Oh no," Kevin said softly. With a tear in her eye, she asked, "What?" Mary asked, happy things were not going to be just like their last visit. "I don't know what happened during the last few minutes of that episode last night," Kevin said, smiling. "Well, we will just have to re-watch it tonight. Now you just focus on getting out of here. They ran more tests and were just waiting to hear back. Is there anything I can get for you now?" Mary asked enthusiastically. "Water. Ice water. My throat is very dry," Kevin replied. Releasing his hand, Mary left the room, knowing just where to go since she also worked at the hospital. Kevin watched as she left the room, leaving the door propped open. He laid in the bed, watching as people went about their business, some being staff workers, visitors, and patients wandering around. After a few minutes, Mary returned with a cup of ice water. "I love you," Kevin informed Mary as he retrieved the cup of water from her. "I love you also, but you don't have to keep coming here to hear it. I feel like it is well known while we are home," Mary joked. Sipping on the water she had brought him helped greatly with the discomfort in his throat as they continued chatting. As they did, someone kept drawing his attention to the area outside near the nurses' station. "After they finished with their tests, are you listening to me, Kevin?" Mary asked, seeing he had been distracted by something. With it obvious where he was looking, she turned to see what had his complete attention. "Seriously, the new doctor, that's what has your attention. Is it because she is Asian and pretty?" Mary asked with a hint of jealousy. "What? No. Is she my doctor?" Kevin inquired. Giving him a playful conspiratorial look, Mary replied, "No, your doctor is, well, here he is." Through the door walked a tall, gray-haired, slender man with a clipboard. "Hi, Mary. Kevin, I am Dr. Richards. We ran a few tests, and many came back okay, with the exception of one. When comparing your CT scan from your last visit to now, we can see a spot slightly darker than before." Mary immediately jumped to her feet, hurrying over to where Dr. Richards had placed the scans on the screen for viewing. Studying the two images, she could see what he was referring to, but had not yet seen such results. "What does this mean, and how would it occur?" she asked, looking at the images and understanding who he was talking to since they worked together. Dr. Richards rubbed the back of his neck as he spoke. "Really, I haven't seen anything like this. It doesn't seem to have mass like a tumor. It is just a dark area on the image." "But it is something?" Mary asked with concern. "Yes. I'll have to do some other research, but as of now, it is one of those things that can't be explained. You understand how some of these things go? Not everything has a clear answer when dealing with the human body." Just then, he realized he had not addressed his patient at all, but was speaking frankly about the situation to his wife. Quickly, Dr. Richards turned around to apologize. Seeing the look on his face, Kevin understood what he was going to say next. Holding up his hand to stop him, he began speaking. "It's all good, Doc. You two discuss, and she will update me at home. I am assuming that is where I'll be later, not in a box downstairs." "Kevin, stop it!" Mary scolded him as he laughed. "No, no box for you. Mary, I will update you on anything I discover. And for now, just take it easy and take in plenty of fluids. I want to see you in a month for another CT scan," Dr. Richards responded, while making a few notes in his chart before exiting their room. Once Dr. Richards had exited, Kevin looked to Mary. "How bad is it?" Placing her hand on his cheek, Mary spoke in a very reassuring tone. "Nothing to worry about just yet. Could just be an anomaly from the scanner. Could just be this or that. Nothing to be concerned about just yet, but I do want to stop by Human Resources on the way out and see about upping some life insurance." She finished by patting his cheek with her open hand. "Yeah, well, make sure it is enough. They might get suspicious if you do it too many times," Kevin joked. Mary picked up a bag from the table near his bed, tossing it to him. "You just get dressed and let me worry about that." "Neither one of us has eaten, and it is late in the day. Where do you want to go? Chinese?" Kevin asked, while getting dressed. "How about the new Italian place? You enjoyed it last time?" Chinese food was like his default setting when it came to eating out, but remembering how great the food was at the Italian place put a smile on his face. "Sounds great to me. Looking forward to trying their lasagna." The thought of the place caused his mouth to water and clothes to go on faster. Within seconds, he swung open the curtains, took Mary's hand, and began heading for the car she had followed the ambulance with. "Whoa, slow down. I need to stop by the nurse's station," Mary informed him. Following alongside her like a lost child, Kevin just stood waiting once they came to a stop. Mary began speaking to those behind the desk about work, something that causing him to instantly begin searching the area for something more interesting. Yet as he looked around, it seemed their conversation was the most interesting thing taking place, even though most of what they were saying was going right over his head. "Excuse me, when will my mother be able to go home? I have a lot to do today." A voice came from the other end of the station. "Just a minute and I'll check." One of the nurses responded as she pulled charts for the patient, he regarded. After a few seconds, the man became agitated, asking, "Well?" "I said I had things to do." Unfazed by his demeanor, the nurse looked until she found the information. "It appears she is being held another night for observation. The doctor wants to find out what may have caused her fall, leading to the broken arm. Don't want it happening again." With a loud groan, he pushed off the countertop and bumped into Kevin as he passed. The bump caused Kevin to grab his head, as a sharp pain struck. Instantly, images flooded his mind of the rude man beating an older lady, then pushing her down to the ground. "That guy should be locked up." One of the nurses spoke from behind the station. "All crimes are—" "We will see you later." Mary said abruptly, taking Kevin's hand, leading him off before he could finish what he was saying. "We going to eat now?" "I am starving," Kevin asked as she pulled him along. After exiting the hospital, Mary hurried to their car, where once inside asked, "Why are you saying that lately?" Confused, Kevin asked, "What? Just thought we were heading to eat." "No, you have said on more than a few occasions, all crimes are punishable by death. What is that about?" "I don't know. Let's just go get dinner. I am starving." Kevin responded, not wanting to tell her about the very realistic hallucinations he had experienced. Turning away from her to look out the passenger side window, gesturing he didn't want to discuss it further. "I am just worried about you," Mary said as she put the car in drive and left the hospital parking lot. Neither spoke the full ride home. Kevin just sat staring out the window into the mirror just outside, counting cherry blossoms as they fail behind their car.